Welcome to Past Paper Analysis. Here we present important questions and answers from Class 10 Geography Chapter 6 Manufacturing Industries. This will help you to score more marks in annual examination. Question number 1. List the major factors which affect the location of an industry at a place. What is the key to the decision of factory location? Raw material. Cheap and abundant availability of raw material. Industries which use heavy and perishable raw material have to be located close to the source of raw material. Labor. Availability of cheap labor is necessary for keeping the cost of production low. Power. Cheap and continuous supply of power is extremely necessary for continuity in the production process. Capital. It is necessary for developing infrastructure for the entire manufacturing process and for meeting manufacturing expenditure. Banking and insurance facilities. Favorable government policies are other factors which affect location of an industry. The key to the decision of a factory location is least cost so that the venture is profitable. Next question. Write the importance of manufacturing sector for our nation, or manufacturing industry is considered the backbone of economic development of India. Give reasons. Importance of manufacturing industries for India. It helps in modernizing agriculture, which is the base of our economy. It reduces heavy dependence on agricultural income by providing jobs in non-agricultural sectors. Industrial development is necessary for eradication of poverty and unemployment because people get jobs and generate more income. Export of manufactured goods expands trade and brings in much needed foreign exchange. Industries bring riches faster to a nation because manufacturing changes raw materials into finished goods of a higher value, so industrial development brings prosperity to the country. Next question. Agriculture and industry are not exclusive of each other but move hand in hand. Give arguments in favor of this statement, or explain with examples how industries in India have given a major boost to agriculture. Agriculture and industry in India are inseparable or interdependent on each other. Agro-industries in India have boosted agriculture by raising its productivity. Industries depend on agriculture for their raw materials. Example, cotton textile industry. Industries provide many agricultural inputs like irrigation pumps, fertilizers, insecticides, PVC pipes, machines and tools, etc. to the farmers. Manufacturing industries have assisted agriculturists to increase their production and also made the production processes very efficient. Development of different modes of transport by industrial sector has not only helped farmers to obtain agricultural inputs but has also helped them trade their products. Next question. Write the contribution and present growth rate of manufacturing sector in national economy. Suggest measures to increase the industrial growth rate. The share of manufacturing sector has stagnated at 17% of GDP. The trend of growth rate over the last decade has been around 7% per annum. Since 2003, it has shown an increased growth rate of 9 to 10% per annum. The desired growth rate over the next decade is 12%. To attain this target, following steps can be taken. Appropriate policy interventions by the government, renewed efforts by the industries to improve productivity. Next question. What is manufacturing? To which sector of economy does it belong? Or the economic strength of a country is measured by the development of manufacturing industries. Support the statement with arguments. Manufacturing, production of goods in large quantities after processing from raw materials to more valuable products is called manufacturing. Manufacturing belongs to secondary sector in which the primary materials are processed and converted into finished goods. The economic strength of a country is measured by the development of manufacturing industries. Next question. What are agglomeration economies in the industrial context? Many industries tend to come together to make use of the advantages offered by the urban centers known as agglomeration economies. Gradually, a large industrial agglomeration or clustering takes place around an urban center. Next question. Classify industries on the basis of capital investment. How are they different from one another? Explain with examples. On the basis of capital investment, industries can be classified as small scale industry and large scale industry. Differences. If the investment is more than 1 crore rupees in any industry, it is considered as a large scale industry. For example, iron and steel industry, cement industry. If the investment is less than 1 crore rupees in any industry, it is considered as a small scale industry. For example, plastic industry, toy industry. Next question. Classify industries on the basis of source of raw material. How are they different from each other? On the basis of sources of raw material, industries are classified as agro-based industries and mineral-based industries. Differences between agro-based industries and mineral-based industries. Agro-based industries obtain their raw materials from agricultural products. For example, textiles, cotton, jute, silk and woolen. Then rubber, sugar, coffee, tea and edible oil, etc. Mineral-based industries. They obtain their raw materials from minerals. Example, iron and steel, cement, machine tools, petrochemicals, etc. Next question. Explain the significance of textile industry in India. Or the textile industry is the only industry which is self-reliant and complete in the value chain. Justify this statement. Or textile industry occupies a unique position in the Indian economy. Support the statement with appropriate arguments. The textile industry occupies a unique position in the Indian economy because it contributes significantly to industrial production, that is 14%. It employs largest number of people after agriculture, that is 35 million persons directly. Its share in the foreign exchange earnings is significant at about 24.6%. It contributes 4% towards GDP. It is the only industry in the country which is self-reliant and complete in the value chain, that is, from raw material to the highest value added products. Next question. List factors which favor the location and concentration of cotton textile industry in Maharashtra and Gujarat in early years. Availability of raw cotton was abundant and cheap because these are the traditional cotton growing states. Moist climate in these coastal states also helped in the development of cotton textile industry because humid conditions are required for weaving the cloth, else the yarn breaks. Well-developed transportation system and accessible port facilities in Maharashtra and Gujarat led to their concentration there. Proximity to the market is yet another factor, as cotton clothes are ideal and comfortable to wear in these warm and humid states. Cheap labor was abundantly available in these states. Next question. Explain the main factors which are responsible for the concentration of jute mills along the banks of Hooghly River. Factors responsible for the concentration of jute industry on the banks of Hooghly. Proximity of the jute producing areas to the Hooghly basin, inexpensive water transport provided by the Hooghly River. It is well connected by a good network of railways, waterways and roadways to facilitate movement of raw materials to the mills. Abundant water for processing raw jute, availability of cheap labor from West Bengal and the adjoining states of Bihar, Orissa and Uttar Pradesh. Kolkata as a port and large urban center provides banking, insurance and port facilities for export of jute goods. Next question. What are the objectives of formulating National Jute Policy? In which year was this policy formulated? Or do you think that the demand for jute products will pick up at global level and why? National Jute Policy was formulated in 2005 with the following objectives: for increasing productivity, for improving quality, for ensuring good prices to the jute farmers, for enhancing the yield per hectare. The demand for jute products in the world market will grow. The growing global concern for environment-friendly biodegradable material also led to the government policy of mandatory use of jute packing. Next question. Why are sugar mills shifting and concentrating in southern and western states of India? Give reasons. Sugar industry is shifting towards southern and western states because cane produced here has higher sucrose content. The favorable climatic conditions, that is cooler climate, ensures a longer growing and crushing season. The cooperatives are more successful in these states, and sugar industry being seasonal in nature is ideally suited to cooperative sector. Yield per hectare is higher in southern states. Next question. What are the major challenges faced by sugar industry? Challenges faced by the sugar industry: seasonal nature of the industry, old and inefficient methods of production, delay in transportation of cane to the factories, the need to maximize the use of baggage. Next question. Why is iron and steel industry called the basic or key industry? Explain. Since all the other industries, heavy, medium and light, depend on it for their machinery, steel is needed to manufacture a variety of engineering goods. Steel is needed for construction material, defense and medical equipments. Steel is needed for telephonic, scientific equipment and a variety of consumer goods. Production and consumption of steel is often regarded as the index of a country's development. Why is iron and steel industry called a heavy industry? Give reasons. Write 4 raw materials of iron and steel industry and the proportions in which they are required. Iron and steel industry is a heavy industry because all the raw materials used are heavy and bulky. The finished goods are also very heavy and bulky, entailing heavy transportation cost. Iron ore, coal, limestone are the major raw materials used in producing iron and steel, and they are heavy. Transportation cost of raw materials and finished goods of iron and steel industry are heavy and costly. Efficient transport network is needed for its distribution. The raw materials of iron and steel industry are iron ore, coking coal and limestone are required in the ratio of 4:2:1. Manganese is required in some quantity to harden the steel. Next question. What is the major difference between integrated steel plants and mini steel plants? An integrated steel plant is larger and handles everything in one complex, from putting together raw materials in the blast furnace to steel making, rolling and shaping. An integrated steel plant uses a blast furnace and iron ore as raw material. Many steel plants are smaller, have electric furnaces, use steel scrap and sponge iron. They have re-rollers that use steel ingots also. They produce mild and alloy steel of given specifications. Next question. Why are most of the iron and steel industries concentrated in and around Chota Nagpur Plateau region? Give reasons. Low cost of iron ore which is mined here, high grade raw materials in close proximity, availability of cheap labor, vast growth potential in the home market, efficient transport network for their distribution to the markets and consumers, availability of power because of this region has many thermal and hydel power plants. Liberalization and FDI have also given boost to the industry with efforts to private entrepreneurs. Next question. What problems does the iron and steel industry in India face, or why is India not able to perform to her full potential in iron and steel production? Explain. In spite of being an important producer of iron and steel, India has not been able to exploit her complete potential because of high cost of production and limited availability of coking coal, lower productivity of labor, irregular supply of energy, and poor infrastructure. Next question. Why has the automobile industry of India witnessed fast growth? Give reasons. Reasons for fast growth in automobile industry. After liberalization, the coming in of new and contemporary models stimulated the demand for vehicles in the market. This led to the healthy growth of the industry, including passenger cars, 2 and 3 wheelers. Foreign direct investment or FDI brought in new technology and aligned the industry with global developments. Trucks, buses, cars, motorcycles, scooters, three-wheelers and multi-utility vehicles and commercial vehicles are manufactured in India at various centers such as Delhi, Mumbai, Jamshedpur, etc. This industry has experienced a quantum jump in less than 15 years. Next question. Electronic industry has revolutionized the life of the masses and the country's economy. Justify the statement with suitable arguments. Electronic industry has revolutionized the life of the people and the country's economy because it produces a wide range of products from transistor sets to televisions and computers for the masses. It has helped us set up telephone exchanges, telephones, cellular telecom, radios and many other equipments which have application in space technology, aviation, defense, meteorological departments, etc. It has generated employment for a large number of people. It employed over 1 million people by March 2005. Out of these, 30% are women employees. This industry has been a major foreign exchange earner because of its fast growing business process outsourcing sector. India is one of the leading countries in software development. We have 18 software technology parks which provide high data communication facility to software experts. Next question. Suggest measures to control water pollution caused by industries. Minimizing the use of water for processing by reusing and recycling it in 2 or more successive stages. harvesting of rainwater to meet water requirements of industries and other domestic purposes, treating hot water and effluents before releasing them in rivers and ponds in the following ways. Primary treatment by mechanical means such as screening, grinding, flocculation and sedimentation. Secondary treatment by biological process. Tertiary treatment by biological, chemical and physical processes. This involves recycling of wastewater. Next question, how do industries pollute environment? Explain with 5 examples. The 5 types of industrial pollution are air pollution. Smoke is emitted by chemical and paper factories, brick kilns, refineries and smelting plants, and burning of fossil fuels in factories that ignore pollution norms. Airborne particulate materials contain both solid and liquid particles like dust, sprays, mist, and smoke. Water pollution. Major water pollutants are dyes, detergents, acids, and salts. Heavy metals like lead and mercury, pesticides and fertilizers, and synthetic chemicals with carbon, plastics, and rubber, etc., discharged in the water bodies without treatment pollute these water bodies. Noise pollution. The generators, compressors, machines, furnaces, looms, exhaust fans, etc., used by industries create a lot of noise. Noise can raise blood pressure and can have physiological effects as well. Land pollution. Land and water pollution are closely related. Dumping of industrial wastes, especially glass, harmful chemicals, industrial effluents, packing, salts, and garbage renders the soil useless. Thermal pollution. Wastes from nuclear power plants, nuclear and weapon production facilities cause cancer and birth defects. Next question. Explain the proactive approach adopted by the National Thermal Power Corporation or NTPC for preserving the natural environment and resources. NTPC is taking the following measures in places where it is setting up power plants. Optimum utilization of equipment by adopting latest techniques and upgrading existing equipment. Minimizing waste generation by maximizing ash utilization, providing green belts for nurturing ecological balance, reducing environmental pollution through ash pond management, ash water recycling system, and liquid waste management, ecological monitoring, reviews, and online database management for all its power stations. Next question, suggest any 3 steps to minimize the environmental degradation caused by the industrial development in India. Steps to minimize the environmental degradation caused by industrial development in India are minimizing use of water for processing by reusing and recycling in 2 or more successive stages, harvesting of rainwater to meet water requirements of industries and other domestic purposes, treating hot water and effluents before releasing them in rivers and ponds. Particulate matter in the air can be reduced by fitting electrostatic precipitators, fabric filters, scrubbers, and inertial separators. Smoke can be reduced by using oil or gas instead of coal in factories. Machinery and equipments can be fitted with silencers to prevent noise pollution.